Hi everybody and welcome again to WrestleMinute. My name is Jack. I am a ring announcer and commentator for the past 15 years. I've worked for such organizations as Chikara, Bar Wrestling, Wrestle Circus, Evolve, Ring of Honor, Kaiju Big Battle, and many, many more. But above all of that, I am a great, big wrestling fan. And today on the show I want to talk about last night's episode of Monday Night Raw, the good and the bad, and then I want to talk a little bit about the life and times of the Dynamite Kid, one of the most influential professional wrestlers of all time. I think that's safe to say. Definitely one of my top 3, maybe top 2 favorite wrestlers of all time. And we're going to just discuss that a little bit. But first, let's talk about Monday Night Raw. And is it just me, or is the show getting better? It is. It's becoming a better show. There is a lot that I did not like, but I want to talk about what I did like as well. And the one thing I really, really like right now is what they're doing with Seth Rollins. They're finally taking this character and elevating him to the status of a main eventer. And what I really like most about it is that he's holding the Intercontinental title and elevating that title to what mounts up to be the top belt on Raw, which I'm a big fan of. You're going to hear a lot of people, many wrestling critics and pundits are complaining about Brock Lesnar not defending the title, about Brock only being on 4 pay-per-views a year and never defending it on Raw. I am the complete opposite, in my opinion. I love it. When I was a kid, you never saw Hulk Hogan on TV. Hulk Hogan only defended the title on pay-per-views, and there weren't very many pay-per-views back then, or on Saturday Night's Main Event, which only happened like 4 times a year. So I'm a big fan of Brock Lesnar only defending the belt periodically. It elevates the title and it makes it special. That's what we want. You want something that's special. When he finally comes out with that belt to defend it, it means something. The other reason I'm a big fan of Brock not being on television every week is it takes the Intercontinental title and it elevates that title to the top title on Raw. And I love that because it's about time that this historic belt gets the attention it deserves, and it's on the right guy. It's on their number 1 babyface, and Seth Rollins is the right guy for that role. I love the way they're pushing his character. They're keeping him heroic. They're keeping him a babyface. They're keeping him anti-establishment, and he's the right guy for the job. He's an amazing in-ring worker, probably the best in-ring worker they've got in their company, and yeah, thumbs up to what they're doing with Seth Rollins, and you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and say thumbs up to Baron Corbin. He's been growing on me as this authority figure. I kind of like his delivery. He's very heelish, and he's doing a great job of getting everybody to hate him. What else do I really like? I really like what they're doing with Nattie Neidhart and Ruby Riot. I'm a big fan of both of these women. I'm a friend of Heidi Lovelace, as she was known in Chikara. She's an amazing talent, an amazing in-ring performer, and I think last night on Raw she really proved that she can cut a money promo. That was a money promo, and I love that they're giving attention to the more mid-card acts of the women's division. And I guess some people are going to be opposed to the angle being surrounded or the angle being focused on the unfortunate death of Jim the Anvil, and it was kind of tragic because he was pretty young, and he was a beloved wrestler as well. But the angle has been given focus, and I think that were Jim around to approve this angle, I'm 100% he'd be behind it. And I know that that's maybe that's being maybe presumptuous of me, but Nattie is delivering heartfelt promos that don't come across as fake or contrived at all. That's real emotion, because I know what it's like to lose a father. It's pretty hard, and they're doing a great job with it, and I love what they're doing with both of these ladies, and I really, really hope they tear it up on Sunday. I'm pretty sure they will. In other little notes here, I really like Apollo Crews' beard. I don't know if that's a little thing, but I just think that one aspect gives him a little bit more personality, which is weird to say. Not that he lacks charisma, but I like the beard. Good decision by Apollo Crews. And the Heath Slater referee angle is great. That's exactly what Heath Slater needed. He needed a role to sink his teeth into, and I think that this is exactly the type of angle he needs. You know what I mean? It's a non-wrestling role for now, but clearly they're going somewhere with it, and it's about time because Heath Slater is also really entertaining performer. Nia Jax, as much as I'm not a fan of them giving her a push for her accidental mistake by breaking the face of Becky Lynch, I gotta admit, she's got heat. She's got a lot of heat, and that is working for her. But what I am not a fan of is this, the Ember Moon. Ember Moon's a great worker, but her beating Tamina was 50-50. It's 50-50 booking to me because I don't see Nia Jax beating Ronda Rousey on Sunday. So I would rather have them build up Nia going into this pay-per-view, making Nia look like a threat, making Tamina look like a threat, making them threatening together. I don't really see any purpose in that, in Ember Moon defeating Tamina and making her look weak. All right, now on to what I don't like. I don't like handicap matches. I like Bobby Roode and Chad Gable. I think they make a great team. I like that they came out in matching robes, just a little thing. But, and I also agree that the Authors of Pain, it was too early for them to take a pinfall loss. And I'm glad that Drake Maverick is there to serve that role. But was it time for them to lose the titles on Raw? No! In a handicap match? No! That doesn't make anybody look good. That makes Bobby Roode and Chad Gable look like they can't, that they need to defeat the little guy, and it makes the Authors of Pain look weak going into the pay-per-view because they just lost the belts. So that takes away a lot of the juice, in my opinion, going into TLC. In general, I don't like having so many titles on both shows. I know Raw and SmackDown are supposed to be two separate brands, but they're not. It's one company. So we need one set of tag team titles, and the tag teams can go back. The tag team champs can go back and forth to each show, and I think Brock Lesnar should be the champ also for both shows, and we should have the Intercontinental title on Raw as the top belt. We should have the US title on SmackDown as the top belt. Because Shinsuke doesn't need that belt right now. That should be the belt that AJ and Daniel Bryan are fighting over, and they should elevate that to the top title. And the tag team champs, the Universal champ, that should go back and forth. That should really be a special title that both brands are fighting over. Again, this is more of a note from last week, but Drew McIntyre losing last week sucked. I'm very upset with that loss, and I know it was because of an interference by Finn Balor, but follow me here, had Finn Balor's interference caused a count-out loss, had Drew lost by count-out, that would have made that spot last night where Dolph Ziggler had Drew outside the ring, and Drew just made it in at 9.5, and almost got counted out. That spot would have meant so much more had Drew lost by countout last week, which would have been fine, and he would have his undefeated record intact. An undefeated record is something special these days, and it's something that I think something I think Drew kind of needs to continue this monster push, and I think maybe even eventual babyface turn, because he's the biggest threat that they have on that show right now. So yeah, I'm still upset about that. And my other problem with Drew losing last week and winning this week is 50-50 booking. 50-50 booking sucks. I hate it. It doesn't get anybody over, and it's boring. What else? Elias. tune your guitar, man. Please tune your guitar. You know, he's got this awesome gimmick. He's got a great voice. I love him singing songs. The crowd is behind him. He is a babyface. They are 100% behind what he's doing. But please, tune your guitar, man. It sounded horrible. And just a quick final note, overall, I don't really see what's the point of TLC? We saw everything on Raw last night. We saw the tag team titles change hands. We saw a full-on ladder match. A full-on TLC with Seth and Baron Corbin. They went through tables, they went up the ladder, like, we saw everything. You know what I mean? So what are we getting a TLC? You know, if you give it all up on the first date, there's no need to go on a second date. You know what I mean? So I don't really see what the point is of TLC except to just put on another pay-per-view. But overall, I'm gonna say Raw's getting better. And yeah, so that's it. And finally here on WrestleMinute, a few words about the unfortunate passing of the Dynamite Kid, Tom Billington. Now, the Dynamite Kid was, I would say, right after Rowdy Roddy Piper, my favorite wrestler of all time. I'm wearing, this is my British Bulldogs t-shirt. This is not a replica t-shirt. I got this t-shirt back in 1986 when the British Bulldogs were as hot as ever. He was a fantastic athlete who completely revolutionized the sport in many, many ways. First in Japan with his matches with Tiger Mask that you can go back and watch, and even in today's standards, those are pretty amazing matches. He put out a book called Pure Dynamite, which I read many years ago. You should go out and read that book as well. He talks about a lot of his heartache and a lot of the incredible obstacles he had to overcome to become a professional wrestler. I love the Dynamite Kid because he was a little undersized. He was short like I am, but he was just tough as nails. And I fell in love with the British Bulldogs when Rowdy Roddy Piper was actually kind of on hiatus. I think he was filming They Live, and the British Bulldogs were in an angle with Brutus Beefcake and Greg the Hammer Valentine, and that's when I fell in love with them, and I started watching their double team moves and watching the Dynamite Kid fly through the ring, and of course his legendary flying headbutt, which is my favorite wrestling move of all time. In fact, in my first in-ring match ever, when I wrestled Call Me Kevin for Kaiju Big Battle, I insisted on the diving headbutt being my finishing move. And when you went to Wikipedia, when you clicked on diving headbutt, that I was linked to the Dynamite Kid, and I always thought that was kind of a bucket list sort of thing. That's neither here nor there. So yeah, WrestleMania 2, if you get a chance, check out WrestleMania 2, the British Bulldogs versus Greg the Hammer Valentine and Brutus Beefcake for the tag team titles. It's definitely the best match on WrestleMania 2, and one of the best matches the British Bulldogs had in the WWF/WWE. He influenced so many guys, of course, the most notable being Chris Benoit, a wrestler that we don't hear a lot about these days for obvious reasons, but Chris Benoit was in the ring one of the best of all time, and the comparisons they're very, very obvious. You can see why. You see a lot on the indie scene today, a lot of indie stars as well. The snap suplex, the crisp bumping, and of course those incredible high flying top rope headbutts. That was all Dynamite Kid. It's kind of a sad story. He had a hard time breaking into the wrestling business. He broke in the old-fashioned way. He had to do a lot of steroids to get big and strong to make up for his size, and that ended up really fucking up his body. I think he was in a wheelchair, from like the late 80s till now, which is really sad. So my condolences to the family and friends of the Dynamite Kid, and he's now joined his partner Davey Boy Smith in the non-physical, and that's just Let's remember what an amazing performer he was, and I really encourage you to get on YouTube or wherever you can and watch some old Dynamite Kid matches with the British Bulldogs and against Tiger Mask. And that wraps it up for this edition of WrestleMinute. Let me know what you guys thought of Raw. Let me know what you guys think of TLC coming up. Are you excited to see what's going on? Are you excited about Baron Corbin against Braun Strowman, who may not even be there? How do you feel about Seth Rollins? I really like where they're going. And let me know your thoughts on the Dynamite Kid, and if you feel that he was as influential as I do. I think it's pretty unanimous. And we'll see you next time here on WrestleMinute.